you ever dream that you'd make it this far?
You regard yourself as a melanated black.
Thank you.
One more thing, Mr. Ashe. Is being a Negro a handicap in America?
It's so hard to really put yourself into the past, into history, and understand something from the perspective of someone who lived it. And what VR is so good at is giving you that kind of subjective experience. So the tension here, right, is that he's got this match and he wants to talk about tennis. You guys think it's important to the country to talk about race. Even though you're going to be watching Arthur Ashe in this piece, you're putting the viewer right in the middle of a scene.
As a Negro in a white man's game, how do you feel about some black athletes boycotting the Olympics?
And when people are looking at him, they're looking at you. When you feel the glare of the press, you're going to be right on his shoulder.
Arthur Ashe competing at the West Side Tennis Club, he was totally entering a white world. As Billie Jean King loves to say, the clothes were white, the people were white, the balls were white.
In the scene that we just shot where he's walking through a white club that he couldn't be a member of, and white members are going past him and then giving him that second glance when they think that he doesn't see them, you as a viewer see that.
And camera, action.
Thank you, Beth.
On this shoot, we got to play with a lot of amazing toys.
Okay.
We got to use the Mantis, which is an active stabilization robot rig that carries the camera down the hall. That was really awesome. Then for the other one, the locker room, we had lots of actors and we had lots of action. And so we used a 256-degree lens to capture all the action that was going on in that locker room, and it was fantastic.
The experience for the viewer of the virtual reality piece is taking them to the exact experience of Arthur Ashe's historic 1968 US Open win at the West Side Tennis Club in Forest Hills, New York.
We're about to shoot a scene that's a tennis match. We've got everyone suited up. We're creating, you know, this world of the past. But then you're also going to be right there. The ball is going to be right in front of your face. You know, you can watch the match this way. The actors are going to be coming towards you. I mean, that's a kind of involvement that you just don't get in traditional film.
The tennis scene was an interesting challenge because we're trying to recreate a 1968 game that took place in this beautiful stadium. We put up a 10-foot tall, 300 feet in circumference blue screen wall and then shot them against that, and that was really amazing.
And action.
The blue screen is for pulling out all of the background of this location that isn't the way that it would have been in 1968.
Let's put your right foot directly on that.
Gotcha.
They're not putting in photorealistic elements. They're doing a very visual effects, sandstorm, dreamstorm elements that are going to be in place around Arthur as he's playing this match.
One of the great things about virtual reality is that it's really a kind of spherical canvas, if you will, to bring in lots of different techniques. So for instance, what we're doing is 360 video, but we're also bringing in animation.
This is the first time that it's done in history, sand animation in VR. In this case, we create an image, and when we take a picture, we see the picture on the computer screen. It's very rare in animation in general to have this amount of characters in one frame.
In a regular film production, you can do cutaways, you can show close-ups, and you can show detail. There is none of that here.
Arthur's story is painfully familiar to us. Both of us were born and raised in former Soviet Union, and coming from Jewish families, we have our own context, for the lack of better words.
It's still very important today, his story, because the abuse still continues and the population of color is still fighting for their rights.
This is a project that is addressing a lot of issues around racism in sports, which is as relevant today as it was in 1968 when Arthur Ashe won the US Open.
That win is what gave Arthur the notoriety, the platform to have his thoughts and goals listened to by the greater world. And what he was really concerned with was freedom and equality for oppressed people. As he said, previously I had won nothing and the world doesn't listen to losers. I needed a championship to be heard.